Welcome to the 15th season of the NitWits, a weekly roundtable discussion on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Our panel includes Neil Riddell of the Altoona Mirror, Mark Brennan of FightOnState.com, Casey Kantz of WTAJ Sports, and a special guest analyst each week. The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. Coldwell Banker, no one will work harder to sell your home. By Doctors Howells and Reed, orthodontics for children and adults. By the bookstore in the Park Hills Plaza, featuring the area's most complete selection of books, DVDs, magazines, and collectibles. By Fiore True Value on 6th Avenue, Altoona. Just ask rental. By Pacifico's Bakery, genuine Italian bread and rolls for your tailgating needs. By the Altoona Professional Hearing Aid Center, your hearing aid healthcare professional. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your cleaning needs. Your rehab choice, Health South Altoona. Ask for us by name. By J&P Auto, home of the $1,000 push, pull, or tow. By Courtesy Motors of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal. By the Allegro, where fine cuisine is a way of life. By McMullen Furniture, the friendly store with quality furniture at a reasonable price. By Scotch Valley Country Club, the area's premier golf destination. By EasyToUse.com, your Yellow Pages connection in print and online. By FightOnState.com, as close as you get to Penn State football without putting on a helmet. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State game day every Friday. You can also see the NitWits on AltoonaMirror.com.
Good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of the NitWits. Glad to be with you once again. The panel is as well. We've got Mark Brennan, we've got Neil Riddell, and Joe Nastasi back on the program. Welcome back, Joe.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great to have you back. Great even more so after a 45-22 win for Penn State over Indiana at Beaver Stadium on Saturday. It guaranteed Penn State a winning season as well, which, considering everything, guys, is a big step forward. However, Saturday's performance will unfortunately be overshadowed by Michael Mauti going down in the first quarter with what looks to be another devastating knee injury. And, I think collectively all of us in the press box, the fans, Nittany Nation as a whole, just feel so horrible for this kid, his family, and he's the leader. He was the leader. He was the leader through the sanctions, through the off the field, on the field. How difficult was that to watch on Saturday?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you try to be objective as a reporter, but this is a guy that, I've seen come up from high school all the way, to what he's become. And I'll remember Mike Mauti. It's not as if he's gone. He's still here, and hopefully he's going to play in the NFL someday. But what he did off the field in terms of leading this team, stepping up, and just being this guy, just a great voice, a great face, for the program through the most difficult times. It was tough to watch, but it was good to see his teammates kind of rally and pull that game out. They said it was for him. I know that maybe sound kind of trite, but he's been such a great thing for this university and a great thing for this program that it was difficult to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think simply he's the greatest leader they've ever had. When you look, I mean, they've had superstar players. They've had tremendous character guys in the locker room. This guy was a lot of both. In the face of crisis, how he handled himself and kept that team together, I think that will be his legacy. I think he'll get a tremendous ovation on Saturday, whether he's in uniform or not.
Joe, that's the thing, is that there's really no player that's had to go through this at Penn State, to Neil's point of being the greatest leader they've had with everything that happened this offseason. He was the voice. He rallied everybody.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, when you see that, it's really tough to watch. It just seems so unfair, and I know they talked about that on the broadcast. But again, it seems so unfair. Someone that gave so much, not to his teammates, to the university, just being the glue to keep it. I mean, how many guys may have left if he wasn't the voice over there doing what he did, and then putting it into motion. I said it a lot of times before on the show. We talked about not just talking about it, but getting it done. And he was getting it done, getting better each week. We watch him. That defense gelled more and more and more each week, and what a big part of it. And again, I agree. I mean, when you're talking leadership, you're talking so much more than making tackles, and singing a song in the locker room. Okay, there's so much more to it. And what he had to do media-wise, as long as with his players, he had to earn that respect. And you know, I really hope all well for him because again, concerning, but I'm sure he'll recover.
I will tell you real quick. You know, Bill O'Brien, when asked about it, was really on the verge of tears.
He was, yes.
And Ted Roof as well, and a lot of his teammates, and that really tells you, really these are tough, hard-nosed people, and that really tells you, you know, that it stirs up the emotions. It's emotional. I mean, there were fans who were crying about this thing. It's tough.
You said how many guys, you know, wouldn't be here, and I think, you know, Michael Zordich saying after the game yesterday with some really good quotes about, you know, how much he basically said that. You know, Michael gathered us all around.
Sure.
And that's why we are still here. We owe that a lot to Michael.
Well, exactly, because you can think, okay, how you don't want to be selfish about it, but a lot of guys are saying, how do I make it best for me and my teammates? It's usually yourself. You don't want to put yourself first, but again, you have to look out for number one. He's saying this is what we'll do together collectively. I mean, I know how that went. He had to, I'm sure, influence a lot of people that were maybe borderline. So a big
and I felt bad for Zordich too. He played a big role in that as well with Mauti. They came in together. Their dads both played at Penn State, legacy players, and he went over to Mauti as he was leaving on the cart. He was the last. But guy
it also
really to talk to him.
It speaks to the overall leadership of the team too, and that was the one thing I was glad Bill O'Brien said, because Mauti has been a tremendous leader. But this whole senior class has been great, and I think you saw that after he was injured, the way everybody kind of rallied. And it wasn't immediate, but that's the kind of thing that could really take the air out of an entire team. And the fact that it didn't, the fact that these guys came together, and you know, to see Mauti on the sideline at the end, kind of, you know, cheering the guys on, that was a great scene. And it was great to see these leaders, all of the leaders, kind of come together.
This is his third time he's had a troubling knee injury, a devastating knee injury. What, Neil, does this mean for Mike's future as far as the NFL is concerned?
Well, Joe probably could speak to it. I mean, I think it clearly would cloud, and we haven't gotten a definitive diagnosis, you know, as of this moment, but, you know, it clearly doesn't look good. But, you know, I would think it's going to cloud his status, you know, in the draft, maybe not even make him a draftable player.
Yeah, when it's late like this, I mean, you hate to make it sound like such a business, but that's exactly what it is. And I mean, when you're talking about damaged goods, and you hate to speak of it like that, but that's exactly how these NFL teams will look at it. They'll go through and they'll say, okay, well, you know, they'll put him through all the tests, they'll stress it, they'll have him run. So late in the season, I mean, his film looks great. They're going to get a ball player for sure. But when it comes down to, you know, the times and the verticals and all that, we'll see how that all pans out, and I wish the best of luck to him because I think he'd be a great NFL player.
And, Mark, that word comes up, durability, when you talk about Mike Mauti. Unfortunately for, you know, when they're looking at a guy like him to draft and potentially make that next step, that word durability comes up.
Yeah, I think the key now is who cares where he's drafted. I'm just hoping he gets an opportunity, and I think he will. It's going to be a matter of when. Again, we don't know the severity of the injury at this point as we tape the show. The way the body language that we were getting from everybody seemed like it was a severe injury. But I'm just hoping, and I think he is, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, he gets that opportunity because I think if he does, as Joe mentioned, he's a player. I mean, there's absolutely no question about that, and he will make the most of whatever opportunity he gets.
And guys, we all here on the panel speak for Nittany Nation as a whole that our thoughts and prayers do, of course, go out to Michael and his family. We did talk about the offense having a big day on Saturday. We'll talk a little bit more about that, including record-breaking days for Matt McGloin and Allen Robinson. We'll break down both those guys' performances coming up next.
The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. Coldwell Banker, no one will work harder to sell your home. By Doctors Howells and Reed, orthodontics for children and adults. By the bookstore in the Park Hills Plaza, featuring the area's most complete selection of books, DVDs, magazines, and collectibles. By Fiore True Value on 6th Avenue, Altoona. Just ask rental.
Hi, I'm Penn State strength coach Craig Fitzgerald, and you're watching the NitWits.
Hey, Fitzy kept his shirt on yesterday. Did you notice that?
He has the last couple weeks. He only took it off once.
It's too warm.
Too warm.
You're right. It was too warm at Beaver Stadium.
Maybe next weekend.
Fun afternoon, nonetheless, at Beaver Stadium with regards, obviously, to Michael Mauti's injury, but Penn State does pull out the 45-22 win over Indiana. Record-breaking days for Matt McGloin, Allen Robinson. McGloin tosses 4 touchdowns, thus becoming Penn State's all-time leader in passing touchdowns with 45. And he's up there on a bunch of the career lists at Penn State. And I think we've talked about it a bunch of times on this show that Matt McGloin, are you kidding me? I mean, is there anybody else that's thrived more in this Bill O'Brien offense?
He's absolutely made him an outstanding. If you're watching that game, he just does not quit, and that's one of the things you really have to appreciate, the fact that he has him in a position that, yes, he makes mistakes. Every quarterback does, but it seems like he has such a short memory. He gets it done play after play, and there's no question about it. Himself and Robinson have really taken advantage of this offensive scheme.
I think it's not that his body of work was bad, in previous years,
right.
But it's just how good it's been this year. I think is what I'm speaking to the most when you talk about thriving in Bill O'Brien's offense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that O'Brien talked about is that this guy may not be the greatest athlete in the world, but he's very football smart. Picks things up very quickly, and as Joe said, not making a lot of mistakes. I mean, his issue in the past was when he tried to force things, and even a couple times this season when he's got himself.
That's all he's done.
Was when he tried to force things, and he's basically letting things come to him. And the other thing I like with Allen Robinson, he's letting that kid make plays,
yes.
And that kid may not. Joe was saying off camera, he may not be a rocket. But he gets up, man. He's got an incredible vertical, and they throw that ball to him, and he's doing some good things. So they're really clicking. And
the 3 touchdowns came on 3rd and 4th down.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, let's just get the ball to the best player or the best matchup. And what I liked about Robinson is not only has he surpassed Joe Nastasi this year in career receptions, but this guy had close to 100 yards after the catch yesterday, and that was always an issue that we talked about. How about it? They're letting them catch it and go.
Yeah, they get him in space. They throw a lot of those screens. I mean, first of all, Neil, remember, we only threw the ball 4 to 5 times a game when I played. So it's a little skewed, okay? We had some running backs that could get it downhill, but anyway, having him, get that ball, like I said, going for it on 4th down, you gotta love it. I mean, you expect it now.
Yeah.
We're a 4-down team. Every time we get on that field, we can do it from anywhere, and you really gotta appreciate it. And again, what that offense has done for him as a quarterback, I'm telling you, that is such a strong recruiting tool. Just because of the next guys come up saying, hey, I have a better arm, I have this, I have that. He's going to put me in that position. I'm going to Penn State.
And you can speak to it, Joe, that, Matt was saying after the game yesterday that, if you see A-Rob in single coverage, it's a no-doubter. Because you saw it a couple times yesterday. Like Neil said, that Allen's making the plays. Going up right there, going up and getting them.
That back shoulder
Unbelievable.
throw. Yeah.
Really is. Allen Robinson caught 3 of those touchdown passes, like Neil said, 10 catches on the day, becomes Penn State's single-season reception leader with 73. Go ahead, Adam.
I like the chemistry he has with Mosby Felder, too.
Yes.
In the 3rd quarter, he went to him with the possessions on the line.
4th down and 3rd down.
And the whole receiving core has really been impressive.
Talk about Zach Swinak a bit. He had his 5th 100-yard-plus rushing game of the day. But he fumbled again, too, and I wonder if that's becoming a concern of a bit. I know only 1 game left in the season, but we've seen Zach lose that football a couple times this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a concern. I mean, you could see after he put the ball on the ground, he was on the sideline really down on himself. This is a quiet, unassuming kid. He's not one of these raw guys, and I'm not sure what is going on there. O'Brien said that was just, not handling the ball well. And he also lost the ball when he scored that receiving touchdown. Yeah. That was kind of a close call. So that's something that this guy has the opportunity. Listen, he's overcome a lot of things, risen up from the bottom of the depth chart. He could be a great back here, but he has got to get that tightened up, or they're going to be in positions where they can't play him.
The problem with it is it's not that you don't know it; it's the more you think about
Yeah.
it. So the problem now is because he probably never dropped the ball in his career until that point. I don't know, but point is that when you start thinking about it, you carry it differently. So to me, this offseason will be great. Forget it; you're a great ball handler. Because he does. I mean, you watch him, and I really like watching him back there, and you're so comfortable with him. You feel like he is the steady guy that's getting it done for you week in and week out.
What I liked about him is O'Brien went back to him after the fumble sometime. And even Zwinak said he thought he might have been done for the day. So to be able to come back, build some confidence, finish the game strong. I mean, he probably ran for 50 yards after the fumble.
Yeah, here's a question, Joe, and I don't know. Did you wear gloves when you played? Because this kid does not wear gloves.
Right.
And I don't know. I have no idea. Does that make a difference? Does that give you more grip? He takes pride in not wearing gloves.
Bob Ingram, remember, he never wore them. I mean, I wore them, but a lot of guys do. I mean, they have them. They're so good now. They're probably better than bare hands. But he does. He wears nothing on his sleeves. He's just old school, though. Jim Brown days.
Guys, we got to step out for another break. When we come back, another hot topic this past week and then after the game on Saturday was that of Bill O'Brien's future. You'll hear Coach speak to that coming up.
The NitWits are brought to you by Pacifico's Bakery, genuine Italian bread and rolls for your tailgating needs. By the Altoona Professional Hearing Aid Center, your hearing aid healthcare professional. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your cleaning needs. By your rehab choice, Health South Altoona. Ask for us by name. By J&P Auto, home of the $1,000 push, pull, or tow. By Courtesy Motors of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal.
Now back to NitWits. A roundtable look at Nittany Lion football.
You're going to be back here next season to coach Penn State.
Oh, you guys gave legs to a story last week that there's no story there. I mean, there's no story there. I'm focused on one game at a time. I'm focused on this football team, and that's not something that I even think about.
It's a yes or no.
Just because somebody wrote an article.
Nope.
It's not a yes. It might be for you. It's for me. It's Wisconsin and this football team and this senior class. That's where I think the question should be directed. Indiana, the senior class, getting ready for Wisconsin.
Well, that's going to sound to them like you're non-committal to those fans.
I'm the head football coach at Penn State. I love coaching here, and I can't wait to get back to work on Monday and get ready for Wisconsin.
Welcome back to the Dave Jones Show.
You guys. It's the media. The media giving things legs.
Let's talk about it, though, because, I mean, just for the sake of people watching at home, I mean, he doesn't say yes or no, basically. I mean, what do you think? Joe, what do you think? That's the first time you
that was the first time. I didn't see that. To me, it looks like what we were talking about earlier. You guys know nothing. Beat it. I'm not worried about it, okay? So watching it this time, I believe he's saying, I'm going minute by minute, day by day to get better as a team right here. Why should I give you the answer you want to hear right now? You want me to say I'm going to absolutely be here. Do I think so? Yeah, I think so. I think he's committed. Just watching that, I see what he's saying as a head football coach. He's saying it's about these guys, this team, this university. I'm working on Monday morning. I love coaching here. He's not going to sit there and give someone an answer they want to hear right now.
I think he's done a phenomenal job in every way, as a first-year head coach. But I do believe that in this case, the only person that's given this any leg so far has been him. Now, for whatever reason, is it because there's a leadership vacuum up there? They're going to have a new president in a year or so. You don't know what the AD's situation is. Is he trying to make some kind of a point? Maybe. But he's going to have to explain this at least to recruits and whatnot. And the last thing Penn State, I think, needs is any kind of instability.
It doesn't hurt them one bit right now for his name to be out there. And I would argue that it may, in fact, help them in the fact that people may be looking like, wow, NFL teams are looking at this guy. Now, if we get into the second or third week of December and this is still a question, then it's an issue because then you have players who are making up their minds whether they want to stay at Penn State or go. Then you have recruits who are making up their minds, possible early enrollees. And I will tell you that I will be stunned if by the first or second week of December he doesn't clear all of this up and just say he's a very smart guy. Yeah. And I think he realizes right now it has no impact whatsoever, and that when it is going to have an impact, he'll make a definitive statement that he's coming back.
It's one of those things. I mean, he may not know himself. I mean, it's been a phenomenal.
He knows.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Well, he may not want to back himself into a corner. Who knows? And we don't know his long-term goals, which may very well include the NFL. So maybe he doesn't want to put himself in a position that Saban once did.
And we're just assuming that there's an NFL team out there that would take a guy with no NFL head coaching experience that has what is believed to be a significant buyout, and as well as he's done is 7-4. It's not as if this is
but
Nick
he's a
Saban.
hot candidate even if he didn't take this job.
And there's going to be a lot of
with the buyout. That's a lot of money.
There'll be a lot of opportunities you'd have to figure in the NFL. Just one final game left for Penn State. It, of course, comes at home again Saturday against Wisconsin. Our picks on the other side. Stay with us.
The NitWits are brought to you by The Allegro, where fine cuisine is a way of life. By McMullen Furniture, the friendly store with quality furniture at a reasonable price. By Scotch Valley Country Club, the area's premier golf destination. By EasyToUse.com, your Yellow Pages connection in print and online. By FightOnState.com, as close as you get to Penn State football without putting on a helmet. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State game day every Friday.
The NitWits, a weekly look at the Nittany Lions.
Alrighty, welcome back to the NitWits. Just one game left on the slate. A battle of 2 7-4 teams this Saturday when the Nittany Lions host Wisconsin at 3:30. Mark, we usually go to Neil to unveil the Nitwit of the Week, but we're going to have you unveil the Nitwit of the Week.
I had the opportunity to wrap up Nitwit of the Year, but I have to say credit Sam Ficken for hitting a key field goal late in the game that gave Neil Rudell Nitwit of the Week. And not only that, he won the press box pool. There's no money involved there, so the IRS need not look into it, but a big week for Neil.
All hail Neil.
I think it was $25 after I tipped Richie Scarcella and everybody around me, but, the Nitwit of the Week, priceless.
Remember that, IRS agents.
Priceless.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going first. They're still looking for a real signature win, a lot of emotion. They've traditionally been pretty good on Senior Day. I'm going to say Penn State 27, Wisconsin 20.
Mark?
I will, the teams that have beaten Penn State have had really good quarterback play, and that's the one thing that's really hurt Wisconsin this year. They've gone through 3 different quarterbacks. I see Penn State winning this game. I'm going to go 24-14.
Joe.
Okay. I'm thinking, you have Mauti out, so you lose that leadership in the middle. Ball as a running back. Generally, we're pretty good against the run. However, Nebraska kind of gouged us a little bit. I'm going to go Penn State 42, Wisconsin 31.
31, geez.
Putting up points.
Taking the over line, Joe. You're about 20 points over the over.
Well, that could happen. You could see some points being put up definitely this week.
Last game of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Casey. Apply the further squeeze to him.
I think
this is a conspiracy to squeeze me.
I had nothing to do with it. I didn't say a word. I didn't know what he was doing.
By the way, this happens every week. Come time for Casey's pick. And then I think it comes down to a Sam Ficken field goal. I think it's a 34-31 Penn State win with Sam's.
I like it.
He's kind of regaining himself. And I think we didn't mention that much this week, but after that struggle, massive struggle against Virginia, he's really come back.
They've done a nice job with him. 9 out of the last 10, 7 in a row.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
And they've put him in a position where they haven't really tried, 50-yard, 48 yards. Yeah. They've given him an opportunity to succeed, and I think that's big going into next season.
It really is. Guys, thanks for stopping by, Joe.
Hey, appreciate it.
Always
Thanks.
having you, man. Always having you.
Thanks, right, guys.
Thanks for watching. That's another edition of the NitWits in the books. We'll see you after Wisconsin. Enjoy the rest of your day.
NitWits have been brought to you by Irwin Financial Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. Coldwell Banker, no one will work harder to sell your home. By Doctors Howells and Reed, orthodontics for children and adults. By the bookstore in the Park Hills Plaza, featuring the area's most complete selection of books, DVDs, magazines, and collectibles. By Fiore True Value on 6th Avenue, Altoona. Just Ask Rental. By Pacifico's Bakery, genuine Italian bread and rolls for your tailgating needs. By the Altoona Professional Hearing Aid Center, your hearing aid healthcare professional. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your cleaning needs. By your rehab choice, Health South Altoona. Ask for us by name. By J&P Auto, home of the $1,000 push, pull, or tow. By Courtesy Motors of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal. By the Allegro, where fine cuisine is a way of life. By McMullen Furniture, the friendly store with quality furniture at a reasonable price. By Scotch Valley Country Club, the area's premier golf destination. By EasyToUse.com, your Yellow Pages connection in print and online. By FightOnState.com, as close as you get to Penn State football without putting on a helmet. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State game day every Friday. You can also see the NitWits on AltoonaMirror.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.